drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Good morning. Good morning, folks. Good afternoon. Good evening, depending on where you are across the world. I am coming through following up on a video that I did yesterday. And a very awesome person sent me something. And I'm going to share that with all of you. Now, I have managed to get my hands on the current list of Bohemian Grove members. I know there's been some lists from some previous years that have been shared. Well, now we have 2023. It's about 13 pages long. It is a PDF file, and I am going to put it in my Discord for dissemination. And it will go from there where it will go. And I wanted to wait until I was live to actually do it. So give me a moment, and then I'm going to drop it in Discord. And if y'all want to go grab it, you absolutely can. I'm going to throw it in under the hot topics section. There's already a specific topic for Bohemian Grove. And I'm going to be uploading the file there. And I'm doing that right now. I gotta find out where I saved it. One sec. Where the heck did I save this sucker? Oh, I got it. All right, so I am copying it now. This list, like I said, it's 13 pages. And I'm sure it will make the rounds. There we go. All right. So it is now in the Discord. And I will go ahead and drop a link to the specific thread. And you guys are more than welcome to go in and grab that file all for yourself. Anyway, that'll get you in for 24 hours. And it is the full member list. And I'm going to show it to you as well. But I want to make sure that the PDF file is available to be disseminated. If you're on Twitter, if you are on Twitter, give me a moment and I will post the link in the comments of the tweet where this live video is at. So you can go there. I'm at leaksonline on Twitter. I'm going to put it in the comments. You're more than welcome to go there. I'm going to say link to the file. All right. And also, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do a new tweet also on top of the comment. I'm just going to go ahead and do a link to 2023 member list or Bohemian Grove. Now, we talked about Bohemian Grove yesterday, and it's back in the news because boxer Ryan Garcia made some pretty outstanding accusations against this elite club, right? This is a club of, it's a satanic cult. A satanic club is also what it's known as. But it is all the rich and powerful men you can think of, former presidents, including Reagan, both son and father, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, even Bill Clinton, when he was asked about Bohemian Grove, he talked about it being a place where Republicans go, where they do some really weird stuff. And last night, we managed to watch a leaked video from 2000, from 24 years ago. And there is this ritual that these people do at Bohemian Grove, which is north of San Francisco and Monte Rio, called the cremation of care. It is disturbing, and really the whole thing around this, and I actually watched this. We took a look at this in detail. You can see it in the video from last night. There is a sacrifice that is taking place. Whether it's a human effigy or whether it's an actual human being, it's the symbolism of it. It is the principle of it, the point, and you all, their ritual that they're doing in front of a carved owl in the middle of the redwood forest in Northern California. It's supposed to, I guess, symbolize to them like a refresh of the year, to cast all your previous issues or whatever you dealt with last year aside because it's midsummer. Now, you remember that movie Midsummer I was telling you guys about that was just so freaking disturbing, where human sacrifices were taking place in this this centered place in Norway, right? I said, if I ever see people with those types of clothes on or dresses on, I'm going to always think very strangely of you. But I'm just saying, it reminded me of that so much. So much. So definitely, and matter of fact, what I'm going to do, let me grab the link to last night's stream, and you can go look at the ritual that they're doing. You all, this, whatever human effigy, whatever human this was, the sacrifice that we literally watched take place, okay? There was screams coming and movement coming from this supposed human effigy, all right? You can take from that what you will. This tape was made back in 2000, 24 years ago, and it's been public for a long time. But you all, the screams that were emanating from this thing, it is one of the most disturbing things ever, man. That is a link I'm putting it in the StreamYard so that it hits all of the various platforms that I'm streaming on. Shout out to Instagram as well. I'll throw a link in the IG chat for you guys, not only for the link to last night, but let me throw the Discord link as well if you want to grab that PDF file to view all of the names that are a member, all of the current members of Bohemian Grove. Okay. And let me go ahead and bring this list up, people. Let's bring it up and let's just take a gander at it, shall we? Let's take a gander at it. I dropped that. Yeah. Okay. Let me take this off. Your discretion advised, but we're only looking at a list of names at this point. All right. So there is 4 columns per page, 13 pages. All right. You got the names, including last and first, and the secret camp that they're a member of. And this data can be parsed any which way you want to parse it. You want to compare it to previous lists that you possibly get your hands on, go for it. There are some that are lifelong members, honorary members, right? And automatically when I'm looking at this list, I'm like, oh, well, who's in this, right? Can I find the Bushes in here? Yeah, I can. I sure can. If I can use my find tool, hold on. Find text. Yeah, Bush. So say I want to just search a name, right? And you can do this, whatever PDF tool you use. We got John Bush and Michael Bush. And the reason why I looked that, I'm looking up names and I'm looking at what their secret camp is. Because to be a part of the same camp as one of the Bushes, I want to see who's all a part of that same camp. And that camp, the Owl's Nest. And doesn't that sound quite interesting, being the fact that they're literally sacrificing these so-called human effigies to a carved owl in the middle of the redwood forest, which is literally what we sat there and witnessed on that tape that Alex Jones managed to smuggle out of Bohemian Grove back in 2000, when he literally risked going into this place and there's no telling what they would have did, right? If they would have found out what was going on. And there's no telling what could have happened. He could have ended up buried in the forest out there somewhere for all we know. I mean, we're sitting here watching a human sacrifice take place. The stuff that you only hear about, the evil things that you only hear about. that you put in the back of your mind. Like, is this really real? Do they really do that? That sort of a thing. Even if it is an effigy, which would be a doll, it is beyond disturbing. But the problem was the screaming that was coming from this so-called doll, the movement. Then they light this thing on fire, the so-called funeral pyre, while this so-called preacher is sitting here saying things like, "Gone with yesteryear, in comes the new year." Just, very paganistic, very pagan, very much so worshiping owls. All right. This is what our presidents, our leaders, this male only this boys club. I mean, they've got names like, look at some of the names of their secret camps: Poison Oak, Skidoo, the Avery, the Owl's Nest. And see, when I see Owl's Nest, I think most likely as part of their secret camps, they've got seniority or priority on these said secret camps, right? And when you hear the word Owl's Nest, I think of the eagle nest. Hitler had an eagle's nest, a very beautiful piece of property. And I believe it was, hold on, I want to make sure I get the right location of where the eagle's nest was. Hold on. I know it was in Germany, but I can't say that the Kalashaus. It's hard to speak German, right? But it's a no, I think it's in Berchtesgaden. Anyway, it's in Germany, right? And they call it the eagle's nest because they refer to Hitler as the eagle, the top dog. And being the fact that we know they're sacrificing to carved owls, and there's something about owls that these people are serious about. It's on all their signs. We're talking about an owl, a carved owl that's hundreds of meters tall in the middle of the redwood forest. It looks like they carved an old redwood tree. And these people go out here annually to this Bohemian Grove, which is, by the way, been mentioned in newspapers around the world, even including the Washington Post. This so-called boys club goes back to 1872. Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Harvey Hancock, all members of this club, this elite invite-only club, where they do all these secret talks, this druid worship, a bunch of drinking. And I hear a lot of prostitutes show up annually when they're having their midsummer fest. A lot of prostitutes get a lot of business out there. Okay. But these so-called civilized men claim, and these are the claims, this group that was started by some gypsy folks. I just call them gypsy folks because they kind of move around type of, folks. But they're supposed to, be wanting to escape everything that's going on, all the craziness, all the uncivilized mutts, as Willie D would say, right? But they are the uncivilized mutts. We're talking about prominent business leaders worldwide, former U.S. presidents, musicians, oil barons. And they're saying that their motto, quote, "Weaving spiders, come not here." I get a lot from that, okay? Whether it means business deals are to be left outside, whether it's people being, messy, weaving, trouble, bull crap, whatever the case may be. But listen, back in 1942, a meeting took place at this location at the Bohemian Grove that changed the world. It was a meeting for the Manhattan Project. And do you know what the Manhattan Project was responsible for? The creation of the atom bomb. These old white men went to Monterey, California, the summer of 1942, and say, yeah, we're going to create an atom bomb. We're going to kill millions of people when we drop that sucker. Shout out to Oppenheimer, I guess. Oppenheimer's been this big movie everybody's been talking about, although I do like the actor who plays Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy. I wouldn't say that Oppenheimer was this great man. The destruction that he created has literally changed the world. We've had even an increase in UFO activity directly related to our ambitions, our nuclear ambitions. But we've got these old white men that rule the world, so to speak, meeting out in the Bohemian Grove, having sex with prostitutes, getting drunk, and having rituals where they're sacrificing humans to carved owls. Okay. With people running around in very interesting wardrobe. And may I mention the production value on these rituals? Y'all, they done put some serious work into the production of these rituals. Kid you not. And there's been spokespersons from Bohemian Grove that have called the ceremony a traditional musical drama celebrating nature and summertime. I didn't know sacrificing human beings was a celebration of nature and summertime. Like, listen, I cannot. And I think it's worthy. I absolutely think it's worthy of us, revisiting some of that. Just so you all that maybe didn't watch last night can get an understanding, right, of what I'm talking about. But definitely check out the Discord link. Whether it is, regardless what platform you're on, it should be in the comments section. If you're on X, I've already posted a tweet with a link to the Discord link. You can go grab the PDF file and you can take a look at this data for yourself. I'm sure the folks over at Bohemian Grove aren't too happy this afternoon. Look at the name of this one. Pig and Whistle Jinx Band. That's the name of their secret camp. The Mandalay, the Interlude, Sempervirens, Four Peak, Tie Binders, Land of Happiness. And again, pay attention to the coincidences, right? And the things that match up. Like when you see, look at this, Crow's Nest. When you see a super famous person on this list, like one of the former presidents, right? And you see the secret camp that they're a part of. I want to know who else is a part of that secret camp, because then I can get a really good idea, right, of the relationships. Because surely an elite club of this nature, there's 32 entries called Owl's Nest, where we know the Bushes were part of, right? So let's highlight all of those that are also a member of the Owl's Nest. Keith Alexander, Richard Krasno. Look at this. Monkey Block, Dragon, Los Angeles, the Moonshiners. Ooh, shout out to Momo, baby. Shout out to Momo. I see you in the building. Shout out to the chat. I see you guys. Oh, my goodness. We've got Robert Fisher, Kenneth Baggett, Greg Field, Michael P. Lazarus as members of the Owl's Nest as well. Stephen Laughlin, Shelton Berg, David Gurgin. Looky there. David Gurgin is also a member of the Owl's Nest. CNN commentator. I didn't know that about him. So, I see, Owl's Nest, and I'm thinking that's like, if we're talking prioritization, priority, or hierarchy, the way they did Hitler with the eagle's nest, then they're going to have the owl's nest, right? Because that's what they're over there worshiping, is this owl. I can't remember what the name of, what was it? Molokai, the name of the god that they're so-called worshiping, this carved owl that can't eat, can't pee on the potty, can't use the bathroom, can't do anything for itself because it's just a tree trunk that's been carved. Right. We got a Christopher Matthews, Rockwell Schnabel. You look up Rockefeller just because, David Jr. Rockefeller. I have a feeling there's some names not on this list. And, people that have died wouldn't be on this list, so that makes sense. And we've got a Thomas Arthur Nixon. Any relation to Richard? Who has also been a member of the Bohemian Grove? Okay, so we got the list, right? Right. The Moloch, that's the name of the pagan god that they are worshiping. It's easier to ask who isn't on the list. Oh, looky here. Edward James Wallace, the Owl's Nest. Brooks Walker III, the Owl's Nest. Again, 13 pages. We got David Kennedy, George Kennedy, Gregory Davis Kennedy, Nigel Warren, William Dodd. I even seen some pharmaceutical company CEO bigwigs on this list. Again, leaders of various businesses that are worldwide, folks, that are absolutely worldwide. One memento, because I want to explore this a little bit more for those of you that didn't have an opportunity to see some of the content that we did on this last night. I think it's important to highlight a few things. So, one memento. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, folks. I'm going to bring up
few, a little over
something here.
2,000 people
Try to hear
traveled
this.
there to engage in bizarre, ancient Canaanite, Luciferian, Babylon mystery religion ceremonies. At least that was the rumors. And so I went to the library and got on the internet and saw many of the mainstream news articles admitting that world leaders do indeed go there, and they fly into San Francisco and other surrounding cities and drive out into the rural hills and mountains of Northern California, and that these stories have been coming out that they worship some 45-foot stone owl god. And then I began to read some of the documentation on this Moloch character of the Old Testament, mentioned many times in Leviticus. That's in the Bible.
Mm.
Why are world leaders traveling to the middle of nowhere to worship this thing? Well, I had to check it out for myself. And I'm proud of my team. Mike Hansen, Violet Nichols. They traveled with me there. We talked to some of the locals discreetly. We successfully infiltrated with the help of some of the locals and Channel 4, World of Wonder, British television that teamed up with us. And I successfully infiltrated through the Secret Service, through the guards, through the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department. We were inside 4 hours. That's only 1 day out of the 2 weeks that they meet there for the admitted Summer Fire Festival of the Bohemian Club. Well, basically, that's enough for me. It's hard to even describe it with words. And I hope that our hidden cameras can give you at least a small piece of what I witnessed. To have world leaders engaging in this type of sickening behavior. Oh, yes, there's much more to come. Mock human sacrifices, they claim, just shocks the very foundations of what Americans believe their leaders to be. And then to have it intimately connected with world government. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you research history. All throughout history, spanning back into the mist of the beginnings of civilization, we see world leaders from the empires of old, from the Aztec kings and priests to Babylonian leaders, to ancient Rome, engaging in twisted behavior. Could it be that when you have all the power and all the women and all the money and all the lands and all the art, you have to do something new? You have to go against the basic grain of humanity. You have to get off in a sick way. That's what we witnessed in Northern California, July 15th, 2000. Get ready to go inside the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Club, as it's known today, was founded in 1873 in San Francisco in Northern California. Many of the club's original annals, dating back to before the turn of the century, admit that local artists, writers, newspapermen, you name it, wanted a place away from the so-called backwardsness of the West Coast, the Judeo-Christian ethic.
Now,
They
listen,
found that place.
I've already kind of went through that, right? And listen, guys, this expose made its way to the Washington Post. Now, we don't have to agree with who Alex Jones is, all right, or any of that sort of a thing. But you cannot argue that this is not an amazing expose. Listen to what some of the people at Bohemian Grove or who live in that area, what they hear each year when their annual summer festival is happening.
I don't know. We always hear there's like big, fat, rich guys with prostitutes there.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the owl and the rituals?
I don't know anything about it.
Never heard about the rituals?
Rituals.
Ritual killing of a human sacrifice of a human?
Nope. Never heard of it.
What would you think if that was going on?
I think it's pretty weird. Wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, it is our government after all.
Hey, thanks for talking to us, bud.
You know?
Hey, I like your shirt. Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
You all. Let's get to the good part. All right. So they show, this whole expose goes down. He manages to get in and witnesses this so-called most sacred ceremony called the cremation of care ceremony. Okay. I know y'all are not very happy at Bohemian Grove this afternoon. A lot of unwanted news coming your way. I get it. Emmanuel says we do not claim any of this. Okay. We do not claim any of this. This ritual called the cremation of care, where you can see it. It's happening right here. This is like their most important celebration that they have every single year, all right, annually, to break in summertime. And they sit there and they do all of this production rated ritual in front of what you're seeing here, which is an owl that has been carved out of a tree. 45-foot owl. It's massively high, massively tall. Don't know what kind of wood it is. I wonder, did they carve it out of an old redwood tree or something? But the point is, they make a human sacrifice in this ritual. And I'm not sitting here just talking. This is not a conspiracy theory that's coming out of my mouth right now. Again, whether it is a human effigy or the real deal, it's happening. The symbolism of it is happening. Colin Powell, former member. All right.
That shows the psychology. Now, this is the only skull we actually caught on tape.
But again, we're talking production value. And just listen to this for a second. It's unbelievable. You're going to see some subtitles on the screen. Insanity. Thank you, babe. Thank you.
Hail, Bohemians, with the ripple of waters, song of birds, such music as inspires the sinking soul, do we invite you into midsummer's joy. The sky above is blue, sown with stars. The forest floor is heaped with fragrant drift. Evening's cool kiss is yours. The campfires glow. The birth of roses and your dawn. Shake off your sorrows with the city's dust and cast to the winds the cares of life. Let memory bring back the well-loved names of gallant friends who knew and loved this road. Dear boon companions of the long ago. Aye, let them join us in this ritual. Not a place be empty in our midst. So beauty's vassals.
And here's the interesting thing. You just heard him in his own mouth as he's reciting whatever he's reciting. He called it a ritual himself. And what is so unbelievable about this is we hear stories of this sort of a thing all the time. We hear about how the rich and the powerful and the celebrities are out there, making human sacrifices and sacrificing people to get rich, to get powerful. And a lot of people blow that type of stuff off. I would say 9 times out of 10, if you tried to have an actual conversation with somebody in this arena, 9 times out of 10, they're going to blow it off. Oh, they may even think you're a little crazy. And this right here brings it right to the forefront, into everybody's living room, on what they're actually doing over there. And unfortunately for them, somebody managed to infiltrate, and that somebody was Alex Jones. He infiltrated this camp, this summer camp, all right? It almost reminds me of like a Boy Scouts camp, and recorded the entire thing. And the fact that they're making a human sacrifice and then burning this sacrifice.
In this gray autumn of the world, or springtime in your heart, a 10-hour tale. Gather, ye forest folk, and cast your spell over these mortals. Touch their world-blind eyes with fairy unction. Open their eyes and blow all the memories of yesterday and seal the gates of sorrow. It is a dream, and yet not all a dream. Joel Kerr and all of his works are but a dream. As vanished Babylon and goodly Tyre, so shall they also vanish. But The wilding rose blows on the broken battlement's tire, and walk rends the stones of battle. For beauty is eternal, and we bow to beauty everlasting. For lasting happiness, return to one alone, and she surrounds you now. Great nature, refuge of the weary heart, and only balm for breasts that have been bruised. Ye have cool hands for every favorite brow, and gentlest silence for the troubled soul. The counsels are most wise. She healeth well, having such ministries as calm and sleep. She is ever faithful. Other friends may fail, but seek ye her in any quiet place. Smiling, she will rise and give to you her kiss. So must ye come as children.
Okay. All right. I want to go a little bit later here. All right. This is their production. All right.
Great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration. Detested care, be gone. Once more, he banished thee. Be gone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Be gone, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy dust. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
Now we're going to get to some enhanced video, and we'll go play by play through some of the more occultic statements. like we shall read the sign in your burned effigy, the bound body. That's exactly what the Druids actually did. They would roast cats, goats, oxen, horses, and watch the pain of how they died, and from this extract some type of mystical energy force or power, and also be able to tell the future.
Owl of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Upon further research of the ritual you just witnessed, it becomes clear it is a mixture of the Babylonian Canaanite cult of Moloch fused with ancient Druidic rites, where you have the female side of Satan, which they first call out to in the she, and then towards the horn god with the he, mixed with Masonic rites from Scotland. It's very likely that many of the 1,500 to 2,000 member crowd had really no idea what they were actually watching because it was thinly veiled. Here we have some more enhanced video as the boatman, again with his face painted up like a skull, pulls his boat across the small lake towards the high priest with the red of his cloak visible, with his hand outstretched as if he is pulling the damned soul towards him as they throw off their cares, their conscience for what they have to do in the world. Also, you have the arrangement of the circle of higher level priests around him, the high priest in lighter colors, and then the outer rings of red, and then those in black. This is consistent with the darker workings of the occult, not just with the Western countries, but also worldwide. Now, when you see that black edge coming to the field, that's because we zoomed in on the video, and many times the picture was almost out of the screen. So that's the edge of the field or the view of the camera. We'll get back to more enhanced video of the ritual here in just a minute. But remember PJ, the little demon down in the corner, the left-hand corner of the program, sweeping up the ashes with little horns? And how can you forget this? The image of a human body burning on the altar. Again, this is what they were handing out to those that were witnessing these macabre activities. But again, from Babylon on into ancient England, the word bone fire, meaning human sacrifices being thrown into fiery pits, turned into today's bonfire. After the sacrifice, members of the cult would sweep up the ashes of the victim and use them in future rituals. One of the things that is extremely obvious by looking at the program handed out to Bohemian Club members is the person creating the program had a deep understanding of the occult.
Malevolence which would pursue us here has lost its power under these friendly trees. So shall we burn thee once again this night, and in the flames that eat thine effigy, we shall read the sign, Midsummer. roll the winds, victory with thy dots. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
There you see the funeral pyre burning with the effigy of a human, or it could be real, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot of strange going-ons in that area of Northern California, but this is what the establishment is into right here in America, the cremation of care. And this was July 15th, 2000. These people are deadly serious, those taking part in the ceremony.
We connect all of the dots, and they've got some of the same symbols that go to Baphomet, the Owl of Moloch up here in the Bohemian Grove. They sacrifice children. They do it symbolically now, maybe.
No. I have a source when he was 12, 13, 14 years old, who was put in a cage at the Bohemian Grove and with another young boy who was part of their network. And they had a third young boy in there who had been kidnapped, and they had to commit sex acts with him, and then they had to murder him on camera. This is called a snuff film. These snuff films sell for $50,000 each.
I know Sammy Davis Jr. was heavy into that.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr. admitted he was involved in the satanic. This all goes back to the satanic cults. And
he was with Anton LaVey, is that correct?
That's right. In Nebraska in the 1980s, I have sources who I've talked to, and they told me they were part of the network. One of them in particular was used as a decoy in parks, public places, shopping malls, to bring children his age, 12, 13, 14 years old, near the car. They'd kidnap the kids. He'd attended auctions where these kids were auctioned off for up to $50,000 each. He's attended 6 auctions, as few as 6, and as many as 36 children were auctioned off for up to $50,000 each, as I said a moment ago. If you go to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children website, last time I checked, there are 91 Americans who disappear every hour. And it is believed 85 to 90% of them are children. Okay? These children, of course, a lot of them are returned because they're parental kidnaps and so forth, but a lot of them are not returned. And I have investigated and exposed an organization in Washington, D.C. known as the Finders. It's a CIA child kidnapping ring.
Tell them.
I've investigated and exposed an organization in Washington, D.C. known as the Finders. It's an international child kidnapping ring. And these, as I said a few moments ago, these kids sell on the auction block for up to $50,000 each. My source was there, and he was part of the network. He was one of the decoys, uses a decoy, as I mentioned a few moments ago. So this all dovetails. And you give this to the law enforcement, they laugh at you because they've been infiltrated, very basically. Not every law enforcement agency, I'm sure. There's a lot of good police officers, a lot of good FBI and CIA agents, but it's a fact. Senator or Congressman Kucinich has announced that the CIA has their own assassination squad. What are we doing killing people without?
Even again, what he was even saying about if you even go to the police with these sorts of allegations or claims, even the police are going to look at you like you're crazy. Okay. But the truth is, this sort of thing is absolutely happening right under all of our noses. So, again, when you get an opportunity, definitely take a look at the full list, the most recent list, the Bohemian Grove members and their associated secret camps. They're the camps that they're a member of within this larger Bohemian Grove boys club, where they sacrifice to a carved owl. Some of the most powerful men you will ever know in your lifetime, former presidents, leaders of pharmaceutical companies and other business companies, social media companies. And it is invite only. There's no wait list. There's no website. There's no email address. It's startling stuff. So anyway, shout out to those of you that came through to watch the stream. Shout out to those of you on X, aka Twitter. And before I get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. And don't forget, the link is has been posted. If you want to go grab that PDF file so that you can view it for yourself. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Also, you all, feel free to follow my official podcast, the official LeakYou.com podcast. You can find me at anchor.fm/LeakYou. I am currently podcasting season 2 on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. And you will find content there that I don't broadcast on Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, etc., Facebook, all that sort of thing. So anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through and exploring this very strange story with me. I do have, later tonight, around 9 o'clock, I will be live again. We're going to be talking about a mystery USB drive that showed up with some very mysterious images on it. This USB stick had a very strange symbol on it. It was one of the USB sticks, USB hard drive, right, where you can save data to this USB drive. Again, it had a strange symbol on it. And on this USB drive are some very interesting images and little short video clips of planetoid bodies. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So we will be going down that adventure later on tonight. Again, thanks to everybody who came through. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, everyone.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.